Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Weather News Happens or Not show. Now, in the last episode here of the Weather News Happens or Not show, we had Ian on the show, or also known as Young Punk, and we got to show off his music, Love Wars and Without You, on the video. If y'all want to go check out the rest of his music, go to his SoundCloud, Instagram, TikTok, do all that kind of stuff, and go watch that video. It's a really funny and cool video. We had a great time.
All of his tags is in that video, too.
Yeah, so go check it out. Go check it out. It was a very fun episode to do.
Yeah.
It made us want to have more people on again.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's very welcoming, Dawson.
I'm just kidding. Yes, we have.
But yeah, it was a very fun time. I think a lot more fun than I think we expected it to be.
Yeah.
When you have a plan, it's always fun. It's always fun when you have a plan and you know what you're doing. Fun times. Today is going to be a little bit of a different episode. We always have different types of videos. We have the reaction videos, which we will get back to doing those later.
Yes, at some point in time.
At some point. The ranking videos, which we have a lot of ideas for that.
At some point in time.
We have guests coming on the show. All that kind of stuff. But today is going to be a little bit different. Because today, we're going to showcase one of the characters that me and Dawson have come up with about 2 years ago. We've been wanting to do this film. We've talked about it in previous films, or not films, videos. We've talked about it in previous videos in the past, especially in the year of 2021 video, the update video that we did. We talked about it there. Today, Dawson is going in, later on in the show, he is going to return with his the costume showcase series. We're returning for the first time in 2 years. We're bringing it back here on the Weather News Happens or Not show because he's going to talk about the White Wolf, the costume and everything. But we're not just going to talk about the White Wolf costume and just show you what we've done with it and what Dawson's done with it. We're going to talk about what the film is sort of going to be like when we start to begin to do it, and the origins of the character of Jack Rollins, the White Wolf. Dawson, how did you come up with the White Wolf? Or what was it before the White Wolf, I should say?
Before the White Wolf, it was actually the Silver Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And
paint was the problem.
Paint was the problem. I'll go into details about all the costume stuff later when we have our little segment about the costume stuff. But like Jerry said, the whole filming of it, or not filming, we haven't even filmed it yet.
Nope.
But the whole filming idea
We came close.
We came close.
Well, we did not.
We'll come close again,
yeah.
Probably in the future.
Yeah, we will.
But, so yeah, it was actually the Silver Wolf. And then it got changed to White Wolf. There was a lot of different things that kind of got thrown into this film to where it was like, I don't know, kind of inspiration and kind of just like off the top of my head thinking about it, thinking, oh, this would be kind of cool. But, and then there was other movies that had inspiration from anything to almost all the way to It.
Stuff that you wouldn't even think that a wolf would be related to.
Like It Chapter 2. We've got inspiration from that.
Yep.
And why? We'll tell you in a little bit. But, so yeah, it went through a lot of different changes. The script and the storyline got changed a lot. Mm-hmm. To where now we have kind of a basis idea of what's going on. I can't think of a lot of the characters off the top of my mind, but character-wise, I know we've got Jack Rollins, the brother.
I have them still.
Oh, okay.
I write all the stuff down.
It's helpful.
Yeah, it is very helpful for us because we have so many ideas. The film is actually Spirit of the Wolf, by the way. That's what the title of the film is.
The name of the film is called Spirit of the Wolf. And
I haven't updated it since September of last year.
We need to update it. Because there's characters that have been changed around.
Yeah. As of September of last year, I've got written down Dawson as the White Wolf, Jack Rollins. I play Sheriff Gage Rollins, which is not a sheriff anymore. I don't think. You told me it was different.
I do have a sheriff in there now.
Yeah.
But Trace's character is someone completely different.
Yeah. So. It's from another idea.
Yeah.
So we're mixing them together.
Yeah.
And then I also played the Minron. in that
Yeah.
idea, in the idea that we wrote down. And then Caitlin plays Jack's girlfriend, Destiny.
Yes.
And in this one it'll be different. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about the idea that we initially had for
Yeah.
it. And then Preston was going to play the hiker that gets killed at the beginning. And then he was supposed to play a funny cop named Billy.
See.
Yeah, and then your dad was supposed to make an appearance in it.
See, that still may or may not happen.
Name Hector.
Yeah.
So
that may or may not happen. But now, like with those characters, now you still got the White Wolf character. Caitlin's character is now, it's not the girlfriend, it's now the sister
yeah,
of the hiker.
yeah.
And she gets brought onto it. Hiker is still the same. Funny cop still might be a thing. The sheriff is still a thing. And Trace's character plays a preacher.
Yeah.
A priest.
Hallelujah.
And, yeah. So there's a lot that goes on with that. Because my character is actually, it's like a love-hate relationship, friendship between him and the priest. Because not so much hate, it's more or less of my character is just, he's kind of fed up with everything.
And your character's Native American.
Huh?
He's the Native American descent.
Reason being is because my character in the film, and this gets brought up, in the film, he's get told, it's like, oh, you look 21 or 25 years old, yada, yada, yada. When in reality, he's actually 105.
He's one old man.
Yeah, he's old. And the reason why is because of the powers that he got.
He lived through the World War.
Yeah.
The World War, people.
A lot of them.
A lot of them.
And he knows the priest because the priest actually knows who he is.
And the priest's name is not going to be Gage. I'm probably going to take it from that other idea.
Yeah.
So you'll see that when we get to that part.
Yeah. And he knows who he is and knows how important he actually is. But my character is very kind of down in the glumps at first. He's very he's borderline alcoholic too.
That's fun.
He's very just when you first see him, he hates everything. He hates the world, and he's just very.
I mean, based off his storyline, I can imagine.
Yeah, he doesn't really care anymore, but that changes throughout the film, and you'll see that whenever we film or whatnot. So we're just giving a kind of a base right here, but so the Minoron, the big monster. So the backstory of the Minoron is 1,000 years ago, yada, yada, yada. Out of the ground came basically there was an earthquake that came out of the ground. And one chief from a tribe wanted complete power. And he, instead of pulling from good, he found evil forces to pull from to give him as much power as he wanted to. An earthquake came from the ground, and the power came up and basically possessed him, turning him into a horrible monster.
This is where the Pennywise comes in.
Yes. So, and he became the Minoron, which the way he becomes stronger is he eats people's hearts.
Ooh, tasty.
So, with the hiker, whenever they get there, and this is one of the ideas of whenever the preacher or the sheriff talks to the preacher, and then the preacher gets in contact with Jake, and yada yada yada, it goes all the way around, as he finds out that these people that are dying is their hearts are being ripped out, and they can't find their hearts.
Yeah. Serious stuff, guys.
Serious stuff. And there's the whole ordeal is he eats their hearts. The reason why. So, a little bit of backstory too is the Minoron goes into hibernation for 27 years, I think it was, wasn't it? 27 years?
Just like Pennywise.
Yeah, that's the whole Pennywise thing too. And then he comes back. But when he comes back, it's a very sorry. But when he comes back out of hibernation, he's only there for 1 to 2 to 3 days, and he's going hunting. Well, when that happens, a white wolf is there to protect the earth and to fight it. So now stop there. Now go on to the little bit of the white wolf's backstory. So 1,000 years ago, whenever the WNHON took place, of course, if you have to have pure evil, you've got to have pure good.
You gotta balance it, man.
So yeah, so an asteroid comes flying out of the sky,
Of course.
and hits the ground,
Of course.
and it has the rock of or white purity
Of course.
in it,
Obviously.
and it bonds to a host.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it gives them powers. It gives them the powers of the white wolf, is
Heck
what
yeah.
they call it. The spirit of the wolf.
Spirit of that wolf, man.
And its main job is to try to defeat the WNHON. But here's the problem. The white wolf has failed every single time. But
He sucks. No.
Yeah.
It's not that he sucks. He just can't do it.
yeah, he fails almost every single time. But he also wins at the same time. He holds off the beast long enough to where he goes back into
So
hibernation.
go away.
Yeah. And he fights. And there's been some that have died. And then all of them have died, actually. So, but it goes into hibernation every 27 years. So when it comes back, it could still be the same white wolf. The white wolf might have lived and been almost half killed. And then when it comes back, that's whenever he gets killed or whatnot.
Yeah.
So now we're in the is it 27 years? I feel like it was longer.
I want to say before you continue, the WNHON, we went through a bunch of different language translations to try to get a name for the WNHON, and I was at Dawson's house, and we sat in his room on the computer on Google Translate until we found something that sounded creepy, and we saw the WNHON because it means walking death in some language that we did. I don't remember what language it was.
I can't remember either.
It was something that started with the C, I think.
I think so.
But we spelled it different.
But yeah, we call it. It's supposed to be walking death, as that's the name of it.
Because
But
he's literally walking death.
he's literally the walking death.
Yeah.
He walks around and kills people.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it was. I don't think it was 27 years. I think it was 100 years.
I
That
don't
goes into
know.
hibernation, because it was 100 years because nobody else heard or seen this
Ew.
thing.
Okay.
And then that was the whole thing. Is my character's 102.
Mm.
So because he was born right after.
His characters are always old.
Mm,
He's an old
So-
guy.
but because he was born right after the battle of his dad fighting off the WNHON. And then his dad got very much injured, and his dad
Well,
was like paralyzed, and
it's
then
the WNHON.
tried to train him to be the next white wolf, and then his dad passes away.
If
and
you've
then
seen a picture of the
it's all
WNHON, if y'all looked at the picture of the WNHON, you'd think he died. He's a
he's a mean beast.
he's a mean looking monster.
He's evil. But that's the other thing, is that the white wolf power gets passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation.
Like
to
Black
generation.
Panther.
Now, that's another thing.
Yeah.
That was the whole ordeal. But the other thing too is, if y'all have never noticed, I've got a half sleeve, and on it it's very traditional, and it has a wolf at the top. And my tattoo is actually a big part of the film. This is the mark of the white wolf that they are born with, knowing that that's the one who's going to be the white wolf next. So he was born with it, and whenever his dad passed away, it activated, and he became the new white wolf. So that's how that all goes.
Some of your
So-
other characters have had that tattoo as well.
Mhm.
Like Red Hood. He was the first one.
So
Just a little
was
fun
he a
fact
white
there.
wolf?
Maybe. Everybody who had that tattoo probably was.
But though, yeah, that's kind of a lot of the backstory side of it. But the film itself,
It's pretty simple.
it's pretty simple. It's now taken into the place where the WNHON has come out of hibernation. It is now past 100 years, or it's at the 100 years mark. So it's going out and killing. And
Hasn't been out since 1923.
ooh, I forgot another detail. Me saying the whole killing thing reminded me of it. The reason why he eat hearts and he goes into the hibernation thing. If he doesn't get enough kills, or if he doesn't kill and feast, he goes into hibernation. But if he does get enough kills and hearts to eat off of, he stays out of hibernation. He's strong enough to just walk
Yeah.
and do whatever he wants.
He just wants a good, whole, hearty breakfast.
Ha!
Nice.
But so the story, it's gonna start off with a hiker walking through the woods, and it's dark outside. His flashlight dies, and you see him scream, and he dies, and then yada yada yada.
Suspense.
Yep. Police find him hanging from a tree
Oh, dang.
with his heart ripped out and limbs scattered everywhere. Lovely.
A lot of gore.
A lot of gore. And
Yeah, a lot of gore.
his sister figures out that he was murdered, and his sister wants answers. So his sister is kind of roaming around, trying to look things up, this, that, and the other, and it's just, she can't think of anything. So her main thought is, I need to pray on this. I need to figure out what this is. Maybe it's just some demon. What if it's a demon that's walking the earth, which technically it is, basically. Yeah. And so what does she do? She goes to the church, and in her hometown, which is kind of ironic because the Minoron is in her hometown. The preacher that knows the White Wolf is in her own hometown, and the White Wolf's in her hometown.
It's totally a safe situation.
So this is not good. but so she goes to the preacher. They talk for a little bit, and whenever she starts blabbering her mouth about what the report was of how he died, it makes the preacher kind of open his eyes up a little bit and is like, oh no.
Oh no, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah. And then the preacher tells her to sit down and tells her the whole backstory of the Minoron and the White Wolf. And she just doesn't believe it at first. She's just kind of like, these is some bull crap, yada, yada, yada. You're lying to me. And then finally the preacher's like, no, come on. So he takes her to where the White Wolf is. And like I said, the White Wolf doesn't really care. So one ordeal that we thought about is he's there cutting wood. Another character that's cutting wood, you know, like they do.
Dylan Dixon.
And when he gets up, one of the kind of ordeals where her character is actually kind of believing it a little bit more is the preacher walks up and says something that kind of irritates him, and he picks up a fresh piece log and rips it in half. And then they're like, okay.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's impressive. You're so strong. And he does that, and then they go talk, and then yada, yada, yada. And he basically is just like, I'm not going to help you. And then the preacher's
I'm going to let countless people die.
Yeah, and the preacher's just like, you can't do that. You are the only person that can stop the Minoron. And that's the other thing that kind of sucks. The Minoron can only kill the White Wolf. Nothing can kill the White Wolf except for the Minoron. And nothing can kill the Minoron except for the White Wolf.
Nice.
So, if he doesn't help, then, I mean...
everyone's going to die.
Billions are going to die.
Yeah.
And the world's going to go extinct. But, so, the preacher's basically like, you can't do that. You're the only one that can stop him. Yada, yada, yada. Finally, the girl gets pissed off and leaves. And I guess she just decides to go out and try to stop it herself. And the preacher goes and helps. Why? I don't know. Because the preacher just said that he was the only one that can kill him. So, don't really know what they're going to do. So, you know, they go out on a little hunting trip to go try and find it. Things don't go as well as what they hoped for. And then... but in the meantime, while that's happening, That's also happening.
Yeah, that was happening, all right.
But in the meantime that's also happening, Jake is on a path of talking with his ancestors.
You mean Jack?
Who did I say?
You said Jake.
Oh, okay, Jack. But
Jake, Jack, what's the difference?
you know, Jack is on a path of where he talks to his ancestors a little bit, yada yada yada, gets a little bit of motivation, and he connects to his powers again, and he goes and
Slays the demon.
So yeah, he just goes off. Well, when he gets there, he's out of his form. Here's another little inspiration. Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So
you'll definitely see that later.
Yep. He gets there to wherever it is, and the monster basically takes him and slings him, and like hits him, and he flies off, and the preacher and the girl are both like kind of ordeal, and then the creature kind of goes on after him, and then a bright light basically takes up the whole area, and the preacher and the girl are like, ooh, that's bright. And then they look over and they don't see what's going on, but all they see is they hear the monster wrestling and then the monster yelling, and then they see the monster like fly off and they get dragged and then they get freaking launched. And the monster goes off and hits a tree and then hits the ground. They're all like, what the heck? And then he steps out as the White Wolf. And then they charge at each other and it's a big clash. And then the preacher's like, we got to get out of here. And
help us.
The girl's like, why? Isn't he here to help? And then the preacher's just like, no, you don't understand. These two are literal titans. Everything is going to be destroyed in their path as they're fighting.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh. So yeah, we should go.
Yeah, we should leave now.
We should leave. And so they get out of the way, and big old fight. I'm not going to say what all happens in the fight, just like how I'm not going to say everything that's really happening. Big old fight, and then stuff happens at the end, and the end.
Yeah. The White Wolf.
Spirit of the Wolf.
Spirit of the Wolf. White Wolf origin story. Spirit of the Wolf story, somewhat, except for not the end. Because who wants to know what the end of it is? When you can just watch it when we do it.
Whenever we do it.
Whenever we do it. We have a lot of other characters that we've come up with and have suits for. If y'all want to see more of those, let us know.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot that Dawson has made.
Yep.
For a lot of years. But yeah, that was the story of the White Wolf, the origin story of the White Wolf, the film idea surrounding the spirit of the wolf. But now it's time for Dawson to return with the Weather News Times Are Not costume showcase, showing off the White Wolf costume. Not just one, but two of them. Ooh, two of them. So here we go, the costume showcase.
So this segment we're talking about a little bit of the White Wolf costumes and stuff. Like we said earlier, there was a bunch of different costume changes, and one of them was the Silver Wolf. Obviously, this is not silver; it is white, just like how the new one is white. When I first started making the suit, the first thing that I made was the helmet, which was actually a Power Ranger helmet mixed with a couple of different things, added ears onto it. And it was straight up Power Ranger helmet with the mouth and the big visor and everything. And when I painted it, it was, I went with a chrome silver. And when I first painted it, it looked good. And then I left it to dry a little bit. And when I came back out there, the paint was just not working. And I sanded it off and I did it again. I primed it and I painted it and I primed it and I painted it. It just was not working whatsoever. And I said, heck it, choosing a different color. Then the White Wolf came into play where it was white. I turned it into white. Kept the helmet. Helmet was still the same helmet. The ears, Power Ranger helmet, except then it got turned to white. So there it was, White Wolf. Then I started making the suit. This was the first version of the suit that I created. It's got a little bit of rips and tears into it. It's been beat up a little bit. but it's just a black undersuit with craft foam and different sort of materials and printing stuff on it and everything else. If you can tell, this is a almost identical version of the suits that were used in the Power Ranger movie, the 2017 Power Ranger movie, and that's the exact concept that I got. That's what I used it for, and that's what I went with, except for this little pauldron, or not pauldron, comma that I added. So yeah, I went with this, and then I just started thinking about it and thinking about it more and more and more, and I didn't like the look of the helmet. I said, this is way too Power Rangery, and that's not the look that I'm wanting to go for. So I changed the helmet. I'll talk about the helmet here in a little bit more, but I changed the helmet, and then I had that helmet with this suit. Then I started not feeling it, and I was thinking about the backstory. The backstory is the White Wolf. He's ancient. So it's not going to look like this nice, pristine armor of a suit that looks like a Power Ranger. So I remade it to where what it is now. Also, that goes with the suit is gauntlets and gloves and boot covers and boots, but didn't feel like I needed to bring that because the suit is no longer existent. Might can be used for something else in the future, but for the time being, it's just here. So there's that, and then this, which was actually the power source of them, which is like a white piece of paper that I printed, and it's just like a little bit of electricity flowing through it, and it's supposed to be like the source of his power, like the rock and whatnot. Yeah, there was actual shoulder pads on this. I took them off, and actually the shoulder pads that I took off of this is on the suit that I got now. Just different colored paint and different painted differently. That was really hard to say for some reason. But yeah, that's kind of it for that. It took a little bit of time to make it, and took a lot of time to make it just for me to be like, I'm not using this anymore. But that's just how it works. But this was the first concept of the suit. It's going to go off of it. You can see in the front. And then it has a back. And then it has the comma. This piece right here is just Velcroed on the front and back right here, just so it can be its own little thing. But yeah, that's kind of that suit. And now you get to see the final piece of the White Wolf suit. So ta-da! This is the White Wolf, or the new and improved White Wolf. You like my fur? But this is also the helmet that I was talking about that I remade. It's a wolf. So, there you go. As you can tell, very Moon Knighty. With the wraps, the little armor pieces, very Moon Knighty. All the way down to the boots, going up the legs, and all that fun jazz. So, very nice, very nice, right? Very nice. So the helmet, and you can tell, it is a wolf. Ooh. With the chrome pieces on it, with the mouthpiece of a wolf. These eyes actually I had them blue, and then I had them white, and then they actually glue, and then I said, heck it, I'm taking the eyes out so you can see my actual eyes. Then the suit itself is actually just a base of a white suit that I lined with rope to give detail, and wraps going up the side, everything else. The boots that I made are actually white tennis shoes with wrappings on them, with a combination of wrappings that go up the entire leg to make it continuous. And then this right here, the little loincloth thing that goes up the side and around, It's kind of like a belt. It's just extra pieces of fabric from the wrapping fabric that goes around everything, made into all this. I had to do little wrappings on it, little buckle, because why not? That's also the rope that I did for detail with black paint to make it look like dirt has went in the crevices of it and it's built up over time. Moving up to the armor plating, this is just foam with that white fabric that goes on wrappings on it. And then here's a nice little pretty symbol that I made of a moon with a wolf. And you got black, and then you got the silver for the wolf, and then you got a gold moon with the wrappings on it as also. Then going up, you got the fur, which is actually not staying on for some reason, which is just fur, white fur. Thought it'd look cool. It does. Then you got shoulders. These shoulders have like a little wolf pattern on them too. These are made out of foam. It's got the wrappings on them. Now these shoulders, actually I had on these, and the shoulders were just white, just like how the armor was white, but I painted them silver to match the silver armor pieces going onto the suit. There's silver gauntlets, which these gauntlets with the pretty patterns on them are actually Assassin's Creed gauntlets that I painted up and put the fabric on them, made them look really cool. And also that cool little fabric going all the way down the arms into the gloves. Gloves are just white, dirtied up, and so on. Little neck piece that goes up to where, or a little neck seal that goes up to where it combines into the helmet, where you don't see my skin. Everything. And then you've got the helmet, which the helmet I completely made. That's just random things, from the back of a Power Ranger helmet to the front of Black Panther's helmet to a lot of foam and plastic running on top of it to 3D printed mouthpiece. And then voila, you've got White Wolf, which looks beautiful and clean and pretty. But yeah, that's kind of the whole concept of it. Very kind of intimidating in a way. I mean, very kind of see how this would be a fighter, more or less. He's got two different types of weapons. One of them I actually brought, which is right over there. I'm gonna have Trace hand me that right there.
Okay, let me zoom out. I was doing some epic shots.
Epic shots. It's right there on the floor. It's that silver thing.
Where?
Right there, right beside your foot.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
If it was a snake, I would have died.
So there's these things, which this is just one, but I've got a second one because he's gonna have two. Let me turn it off for safety here. Harmless, and then turns into this pretty little. Goes into a nice little knife. So he's got two of these. That'll be kind of like on his hips whenever I get them on place, so I can take them off and take them out. His other weapon he has is a sword. It's a white-handled sword with a big, nice little blade, and it's a sword. I mean, it's just a sword, okay? And then his other weapon is his fists, because he's a mighty warrior. Yeah. But yeah, so this is the new improved White Wolf. Very epic-like. Yada, yada, yada. Here's some pictures.
That was the suit. That was the White Wolf suit, part of the Spirit of the Wolf film that will be coming in the future at some point. He probably just gave everyone hearing problems by you slamming it on the table. But y'all got to see that suit and the pictures of the suit before the very original one and all the incarnations up until now. And you got to see Dawson wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we haven't got to do a costume showcase type thing in about 2 years. We did the Halo, which turned into Cole 336 costume. That was the last one we did. So hope you all enjoyed that. We're going to try to do more of those in the future here on the show. We got a lot of ideas we talked about off camera that we want to do for the show. It's going to be great. It's going to be even more great when summer comes around. We're going to have a lot more fun ideas coming your way. And they may not all involve sitting at the table. They may not. You never know what's going to happen.
Like standing on the table.
Yeah, we could be doing that. That's a possibility. But I hope y'all enjoyed looking at the costume, gazing at its appearance, bowing down to it, maybe not doing that. If y'all are into that, who knows? I hope y'all enjoyed looking at it, all that kind of cool stuff. But now it is time to say goodbye to all of you, sadly. Until, Dawson's crying. And now, and then we're going to see y'all next week here on the Whether News Happens or Not channel. If you liked this video and you liked Dawson's White Wolf costume, Jack Rollins, the story of Jack Rollins, leave a like down below. Comment what kind of costumes you want to see Dawson make next, what kind of characters you want to see us talk about here on the Weather News Happens or Not show, what kind of things you want us to do here on the Weather News Happens or Not show, and the very most important thing to do right now
is to live.
Yeah, that's number one. Number two, at this very moment, well, if you don't do this, you won't live, is subscribe to the Weather News Happens or Not channel. And also hit the notification bell.
Ding.
So you will be notified when more Weather News Happens or Not show episodes come out. My name is Trace Parks.
I'm Dawson Mullins.
See you guys in the next episode of the Weather News Happens or Not show. Bye-bye.
Peace.